Good afternoon, everyone. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Vicky Harris, and I'm the Marketing and Partnerships Director at Marketing Lancashire. And we are the agency that is charged with promoting the county of Lancashire as a place to live, work, visit, invest, and study. We're delivering this session online today so that we can tell you all about the Visit England Awards and the Lancashire Tourism Awards for this year and how you might want to go about entering those awards. If you do have any questions that come up, then you can use the chat facility within Zoom. The team will come back to you and if they know the answer to the question within the chat. If not, we can answer any questions at the end. But it would be great if you could just keep those questions in the chat or until we get to the end of the session, just so that I can deal with all of those once. So what are we going to cover today? We're going to cover why businesses enter the awards, what the application or process looks like, how to complete your application, and then thinking about some of your next steps. So first of all, why do businesses like yours enter the awards? Well, at the end of every awards cycle that we work on in conjunction with Visit England, we send a little survey out to see why people have entered. So excellence really makes good business sense. Customers will pay more if they think they're coming to a really good business. It's a little bit easier for you to recruit and retain better staff. It's really good for the profile of your business and the pride that people have and customers have in it. And hopefully it will help you be a little bit more profitable as well. The awards are part of a journey which is really about being the best that you can possibly be. And simply by entering, you'll enjoy a really great number of benefits. Of course, everybody likes to win, but whether or not you achieve an award on the night, your business really will be better for having taken part in it. Because by applying, you are turning a spotlight on your operation and showing how it looks like from a customer perspective. So you're really thinking about all of the different things that customers see within your business or your endeavors and how that reflects on you. Also, you can comparing yourselves with your competitor set and you'll challenge yourself to be better. And at the end of the process, you'll be well on your way to achieving excellence, which will have a positive impact on your bottom line. I'll go on to the kind of reflection points that there are in this and the mystery shopping process and the reports and things that you get at the back of it. But it's really, a really robust process that you're under, and you get feedback every single step of the way of how you could improve your application, how you could have answered things a bit differently. And it's a very open and transparent process. So why did people enter our tourism awards in 2023? So the top answer was to provide a mark of quality assurance to customers. Some people did it for PR and media coverage, to gain recognition, influence people locally, gain some feedback and some benchmarking for their business, and for a chance to win regionally and nationally. So Visit England carry out this application survey with everybody that enters the awards each year, and these were the reasons that people entered within Lancashire. The other reasons, not the top 5, but the rest, the most popular ones were to help motivate and recruit staff, to share and encourage best practice within our business, for the opportunity to network with other tourism businesses, to come along to the awards and celebrate greatness. I mean, it is great actually on the awards night, just to be able to network with other businesses that are in your field or perhaps in your supply chain, and at the judging days as well. Some people have been encouraged by a client or a colleague, and I'd love to know what the other reasons were, but unfortunately it's not free text box, so I do not know. So what are the benefits of entering? So over half of the entrants said that they entered to be able to provide a mark of quality assurance. And this kind of official endorsement and trusted logo gives potential customers another reason to book. It's great to know that you were going somewhere that's award winning. I sat at the Visit England Awards for Excellence last night with some colleagues, and we were going, oh, I've stayed there. Oh, I've stayed there. Gives a bit of kudos to your guests or your customers as they go if they know that you've won an award. Becoming a finalist and going on to win an award is a really newsworthy story, and it provides a great opportunity to generate media interest, both locally in our awards, and if you go further, going on to national coverage. And national winners have the additional benefit of being promoted through Visit England's consumer communication channels as well. Visit England have produced a comprehensive toolkit to help winners with their PR, the link of which is at the bottom of this page, and we'll be sharing these links with you after today as well. Winning really helps you to stand out from your competitors, and being a winner provides you with a unique selling point to promote. But being any part of the journey provides you a point to promote. You know, the social media posts, the LinkedIn posts, saying that you're preparing your award, or you've got some judges coming, or you're going to the judging days. They're a really nice touch point for you to have with your consumers and your stakeholders and your staff, and celebrating that real sense of pride. So the entrants within the core categories in our competition in the Lancashire Tourism Awards are automatically put forward to the National Visit England Awards of Excellence. So you can get a real competitive advantage by being recognised by your potential customers as not only being one of the best tourism businesses in Lancashire, also in the country. As I mentioned, all entrants receive free feedback on your entry to help you improve in the future. And if you receive a visit, either a mystery visit or a pre-announced day visit to your business, you will receive a copy of that report, which will help you to identify the areas where improvements could be made, and also work out where you can excel as well. Winning helps you stand out from your competitors as well, and competing, you know, against businesses in your area can give you a benchmark and a tangible level of success to aim for. We've heard examples of those who've won bronze going on to visit the gold winners to find out how they could improve at a national level. But it really, when you see your name within those finalists, you can go and see what the competition kind of is. And it might be businesses you've not heard of before. There's new places popping up all the time. The process of applying is quite a useful business management exercise, because it really helps you to step back and reflect on your business and identify areas for your future development. Winning itself obviously will give cause for celebration, but networking with other like-minded people in your area as well, and seeking out those new business partnerships. And it can help you to attract high quality staff, increase staff motivation and loyalty. And it's a really good opportunity to reward your staff and your team and recognise their contribution to your business as well. But even if you don't win, or even if you don't even get shortlisted, I think you can greatly benefit from the process of applying regardless of the outcome. So we're now going to go through what the actual awards process looks like. The annual awards cycle begins with a series of local competitions, such as ours, the Lancashire Tourism Awards, which feed up into the National Visit England Awards for Excellence. We are able to put one winner from each of our categories to the national competition. And what that means is that businesses only have to complete a single application, and local winners of our core categories are automatically put forward to the national competition. So here's a little picture. It's like a little Lancashire Wears Wally for you. The Tourism Awards were celebrated in February this year at King George's Hall in Blackburn. We had 105 finalists in 24 categories, and winners of 15 of our categories were automatically entered into the Visit England Awards for Excellence, and that is the only pathway for that for businesses within Lancashire. And we were absolutely delighted to have had 3 finalists in the Visit England Awards for Excellence this year. So Secret Garden Glamping in West Lancs, Lalacanda in Gisborne, and Blackpool Winter Gardens. And that is a really incredible achievement to be in the top 3 in the whole country out of all of the competitions that get run around England. And if you are entered into the Visit England Awards for Excellence and you are highlighted as being a finalist, then you are in the top 3. You come home with either bronze or silver or gold. And last night, we came back with 2 bronzes and a gold as well. So Derry from Secret Garden Glamping in Skelmersdale picked up a gold in the camping, glamping and holiday park category. Cinzia and Maurizio from Lalacanda in Gisborne got a bronze in the Taste of England, the Restaurant of the Year category, and the Winter Gardens in Blackpool also picked up a bronze in the business events category. And I put a picture down at the bottom of Ian and Sue Rainford from Brickhouse Farm Holiday Cottages, because they won silver at the Visit England Awards for Excellence last year. And this year they were finalists in the National Award to Find a Tourism Superstar as well. So we had 4 finalists really all together last year, and they were all presented with these awards in Liverpool last night. So I think it can be sometimes be quite intimidating when you're thinking about looking at some of these award winners and where they've come from. And, you know, to win gold, particularly for Derry from Secret Garden Glamping, is a massive achievement. But I just wanted to share a bit of background about his business, actually, so that you can kind of see where he's come from and the pathway that he has taken to achieving that gold. Now, Derry set up his business in 2020 in lockdown, and his business stemmed from boredom, because he was trapped in the house with his kids, wanted to take them away, couldn't take them away. So he was a dad on TikTok who started building a cabin in his back garden. And one night they slept out in it when he built this little cabin for his kids. And he thought about how he could make it comfier and started sourcing all of his own things to create this really cozy glamping pod for his family to share during lockdown. But people really gained traction with his story and, you know, this dad that was building this thing for his kids in his garden. And he started getting tens of thousands of followers on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. So when we came out of lockdown, Derry popped the pod onto Airbnb and the Secret Garden Glamping site was born. He went from that one pod to creating a whole site. It's very, for those of you that have seen Love Island, it's very much about a Love Island kind of vibe that he's built in Skelmersdale, of all places. And he's just taken over another site, which he is developing now. So he started this business in 2020. In 2021, in our awards, he was the winner of the New Tourism Business. In 2022, in our awards, he was a finalist in 2 categories, but he didn't win either of those categories in 2022. And in 2023, in our awards this year, he was the winner in the camping, glamping and holiday park category. And last night, he got the gold at the Visit England Awards for Excellence. Absolutely phenomenally brilliant amount of success, and so proud, but so proud of everybody that was there last night. To be in the top 3 in the country is absolutely amazing. And I just think that, you know, Derry particularly has got such a great story. You might have seen that he was on Dragon's Den a few months ago, and all of the dragons wanted to invest in his business. So he's got a blossoming relationship, investment relationship going with Deborah Meaden as well at the minute. Really worthy winner. But when you look at this, it's been in quite a short space of time, and it's not always been a successful journey in terms of the awards as well. You know, if he had have been a finalist in 2022 and not won, and not thought about then re-entering in 2023, then he wouldn't have been picking that up last night. So what does the application process look like? So we use a system called Open Water for the entry procedure. You don't need to enter, or you don't need to register just to access the details about the awards. We have loads of information on our website, which is lancashiretourismawards.com. So on there, we have really detailed information about the eligibility criteria. and sample application forms that you can have a look at. I would really recommend having a look at the criteria for all the different categories, and also looking at the application forms as well. The system that you apply through is really user friendly, and we're on hand to be able to help you if you've got any queries as you go along. You can save your entry in the system as you go along, and print it out from there if you wish to share it with others. You don't need to do it all in one go. But if, like me, you're a lover of a piece of paper or a big Word document that you can just dip in and out of and share, then we do have those sample application forms available on our website for you to download as well. There's some really interesting things for you to note that will help you to make full use of the system. You will need to register to create a login so that you can save and submit your application. You can delegate the application to a colleague within the system if necessary. The system strips out any formatting that's attached to data that you cut and paste across from other sources. So if you're trying to cut and paste from a Word document, for example, and you've got bullet points and things in there, it does strip all of that out. So make sure that you check all of that formatting, and particularly any URL links and things like that. The text boxes do have word counts on them, and they will cut out at the word limit. Anything with a star against it is mandatory, and the application will not submit until those fields are completed, and you won't be able to access or amend applications once the deadline has passed. And double check that your application has been submitted at the deadline and not marked as being incomplete. Although we are a very lovely bunch, and when we have a look at who has started but perhaps not pressed complete at the end of the process, we will give you a little bit of a nudge and say, did you mean to enter this category? Because we don't want you to miss out if you've put all of that work in. So just thinking about what our categories are this year, I'll put this up. So the ones that are on the left are core categories. So those are the ones that will automatically go through to the winner from that category will go through to the Visit England Awards for Excellence. So we run all of those on behalf of Visit England as well. And then the ones on the right-hand side, they are local only categories. So we only run those categories in Lancashire. So unfortunately, the winners in those categories don't have the opportunity to be put forward to Visit England because they are not categories that are being supported nationally. However, we do have a seat on the steering group with Visit England, and we do try and influence some of these categories being listed at a national level. So in future years, some of those may change. So in terms of some top tips that I have, my first top tip is coming up. Our website and Visit England's website have absolutely loads and loads of information to help you. So make sure you read all the information before you start, and think about the kind of category that you want to apply into as well. There's lots of categories that are in there that have, a bit of crossover. So family business was a category that we brought online last year. That family business category, you might be a hotel or an attraction, but you might also have, be a big family business. Rather than just going for the very obvious, we fit in that box, what else is there that you can go into? Is it a are you a new business? Are you a family business? Are you really accessible? Are you really sustainable? Think about where you want to fit in all of that. There is application criteria for all of the various categories, and that is listed at the front of all of the application forms. For all entries, you must be directly involved in tourism, making a contribution to the visitor economy, with a significant proportion of business generated by people visiting in and around, outside the local area, but from within the local area as well. But yeah, there's full guidance on all of those on our website, and also at the top of all of the application forms as well. So The next section of this is going to go through the detail of the actual entry form for this year's competition. So right at the start of the application form, there is opportunity for you to set the scene a little bit with your business details. Now, on this, it will ask you for who's, the name and the job title and the phone number and the email address of the applicant. Now, sometimes people use agencies or different people to complete these on their behalf, but I would probably stress that it is more relevant for it to be a person, if you are thinking of doing that, from within the business who is put as the main contact on here, because it will be them that we chase. So Visit England will chase, we will chase if you've kind of progressed with anything. So make sure we've got the right person who will be able to pivot quickly if we need them to on things that are dealing with your application. We also ask for things like business name and business address, but make sure that you're putting that as your business name as you would wish for it to appear on all your publicity materials, your certificates, your presentations, etc. If you are a winner, so make sure that that information is correct. We also ask in this section if there are any closures during the judging period. That's because we have mystery shoppers that come out to some businesses and also do some pre-announced judging visits and things like that. So we need to know that there is time for us to be able to do that mystery shopping within the time frame that we need it to be. So that's why that question is in there. We ask the age of the business. So when did you start trading? Because we want to make sure that you are in the right category and that you shouldn't be in a new business category. For some of the things like attractions, we'll ask about things like visitor numbers, and we ask about how many full-time equivalent staff there are as well. We ask at the outset in this setting the scene for a 120-word promotional description of your business. So really focusing on its strengths and its standout features that are relevant to the category that you're entering. Really take a bit of time crafting your words here, because they will be used in any PR and awards literature if you're shortlisted as a finalist for us. So really make sure that that is your elevator pitch, your 120 words of why your business is amazing. The same goes for the images that we ask for in this section. Make sure that you're using landscape, really high resolution photos. You can have up to 3 in there. Don't edit them in any way. Don't embed any text or logos or anything else that you're in there as well, because we use those again. When your name is in lights on the screen on the day, make sure that it's an image that you would want people to see. So then the background is not a section that is scored, but you have then 250 words to briefly outline the story of your business. So how long you've been in business, what your key milestones have been in developing the business, the size of the business, and the number of staff that you've got. And then the final element of this section is to think about any awards or accolades or anything else that you have here. So that might be things like you might have a TripAdvisor Traveller's Choice Award, you might have a Green Tourism Award, you might have some kind of Visit England quality assessment, for example. There is no obligation at all for your business to be quality assessed. However, if you have got any independent quality assessments or mystery shopping reports that have taken place in the last 2 years, you can upload those in as well. And you are very welcome to use any mystery shopping reports that we've done previously for you for the Tourism Awards as supplementary evidence into that as well. So then we think about the kind of the supporting evidence that goes in. Make sure that all your links are relevant and that any evidence that you put in supports the question and it adds value and that it doesn't repeat it. A bit of a note about accessibility, because in this section of the application form where we're talking about kind of online presence and reviews and things, It does ask about accessibility and inclusivity information. And there is an Accessible Inclusive Tourism Award as well that we have. And the Accessible and Inclusive Tourism Award this year is aligning better with the new Accessible and Inclusive Tourism Toolkit that Visit England have developed. So fundamentally, the overarching guidance to businesses has stayed the same, but there's documentation for judges as well as judges' briefings that includes links to new toolkits and checklists that Visit England have produced. So where it is asking you for your accessible information, your sustainability information. So, anything that you might have done there, it might be useful for you to have a look at what these checklists are for businesses and some of the toolkits, because you might be able to do some quick wins from this that would improve your standing from an accessibility perspective, because that accessibility stuff applies across all the categories and not just in the accessibility one. So we then have a look at the online review presence. So they will ask you for things about your website. So they'll do an audit of your website and how that looks. They will look at your social media. They will look at your online review sites and look at that sustainable and accessible toolkit stuff. There is a digital marketing website, a digital marketing guide on Visit England's website if you want to have a little look at that as well. I think the big thing that I would say is where you are looking at online reviews, all of your reviews don't need to be incredible 5 stars. We're all human. The customer is not always right. Sometimes the customer is a bit wrong, or you might be having a bit of a bad day. But just think about how you are getting reviews and how you're engaging with visitors. Are you posting on your social media? Are you posting regularly and making interesting content and making the best use of the platforms? You don't have to use all the platforms, but make sure that the ones that you are using, you're really focusing on, and there's kind of you sharing those links. And think about how you're responding to reviews on those platforms. Are they personalized? Do you show how you are acting on feedback? Are you using them as an opportunity to encourage repeat visits? How well do you deal with a negative review? And thinking about, a good format for that is to acknowledge, diffuse, detail, and resolve. And if you can do that in you can't always do that in a public forum, but just showing that you actually care about what people are saying it stands you in good stead. And it's good business practice as well. And there's some more information about that in that digital marketing toolkit. So there's 4 key questions that come up in the application forms, which are consistent pretty much across them all. So our next section is going to go through those in detail at the 4 main questions of most of those categories. So the first one is all about your top qualities. Now, remember that the local competition is the start of a journey, and it could end up like Derry and Secret Garden Glamping with you being the best in the country. So think about what makes you the best in your area, but also why you are the best across the rest of England as well. So think about why you're impressive compared to everybody else. What makes you stand out? What do your customers, what do they say that you're the best at? What's the most frequent comment they make about you? Why is your experience so memorable? And consider all the areas of your business that you excel in: the services, the facilities, the care that you give your staff and visitors. If you're, your programming, your special events, whatever it might be, and what do you do to make sure that every element of your business is excellent? And think about anything that you've done that's quite innovative or resilience building as well. For this question, they will ask you to think about 5 ways in which your business is impressive compared to your competitors. Don't just say the same thing 5 different ways. They are asking you for 5 ways. So make sure that you are answering the question and giving them 5 examples. And it can be, it can be absolutely anything. It could be that you're promoting local suppliers. It might be that you have something that you care for your team. It might be that you are have got some extras that you're putting in there to delight your customers. It might be something impressive that you're doing with people with accessibility requirements. It might be something that you are doing to build resilience within the business. And you've got 500 words to be able to do this in. And I really, really recommend that you use as many of those words as you need to. But there's nothing more frustrating from our perspective when we look at those application forms and we see businesses that we know are absolutely incredible and they've only put a few words in or a few bullet points and not fully explained what it is that they do within those particular areas. So areas that you might want to consider, how do you delight every single customer that comes through the door? How do you make them feel special and provide them with amazing memories to take away? What added value do you offer your guests? So things like the warmth of your welcome or the follow-up that you give. How do you make sure that your staff are the best ambassadors for your business? Is it through recruitment, induction, training, reward? Why will guests shout about it to all of their friends? If there's a problem, is it dealt with swiftly and how is it acted on? And who is responsible for ensuring that every aspect of that business is perfect? You might also want to think about innovative marketing that you've done, for example. So where you've seen a specific need and how you've carried that out. How have you used your marketing or your research to influence what you've done? And how do you monitor the effectiveness of the activity and amend it as needed? A marketing one is a really good example that you can do for your top qualities. And, how do you work with other businesses in the area? What are you doing for your CSR? There's loads of things that you can come up with that are applicable to you. And there's another great PR toolkit available on Visit England's website that you can access to as well. Load of acronyms here. Engaging with your LVEP, that's us, your local visitor economy partnership, DMO, Destination Management Organisation, and VE and VB campaign, so Visit England and Visit Britain. And then another area to consider for question 1 is it's really important that this is an aspect of what judges are looking for in all categories, as I mentioned before, and not just in the Accessible Inclusive Tourism Award. It also really makes business sense for you to think about how your business can be more accessible. 1 in 4 people in the UK have some kind of impairment which may affect where they choose to stay or to visit. So improving your accessibility benefits all customers, does not always require major or expensive changes. Just providing an accessibility guide for your venue can help you be more inclusive for people with a wide range of visible and hidden impairments. Businesses with improved accessibility appeal to a wider range of customers. It's not just disabled customers who benefit, it's families and older people, and practically all of your customers in one way or another. People with health conditions and impairments tend to take longer holiday breaks than average and therefore tend to spend more money per trip as well. And they want a lot more information in advance, which is why accessibility information should be really easy to find on your website. What I'm going to do as well, before we send out this document, is I'm going to pop in an extra link to it, because Visit England have got a deal at the moment running with Access Able to produce accessibility guides for businesses, and there are some discounts available to do it. So if you're a micro business, then you can get that for just £1. And if you're a bigger business, they have some special rates for either 50% or 75% off a visit to come out and look at that accessibility audit, look at how you can potentially improve some of the stuff, but also so that customers that are coming know what will be there. And that's as simple as knowing how many steps there are up to the front, knowing how wide the doorways are, all, you know, a whole host of things that you can do. And also thinking about your sustainable credentials as well. In question 1, there's an opportunity for you to link off for what your kind of priorities are in that. It's not, sustainability isn't just about being on trend or being good PR. They're really fundamental bits of being a business these days. And the issue, you know, sustainability makes sense to any business because it, in some cases, can reduce your costs. It certainly reduces your impact on the planet for, you know, years to come. And you can kind of think about, you know, why you've identified an opportunity or a need and how you've developed solutions around it, and what that impact is. You might be a business that's managing your carbon footprint and you know what impact you've had by implementing certain things. As well as the more obvious aspects, you need to be looking at things about local sourcing and real partnerships with local suppliers, reducing your carbon footprint, helping guests to adopt new practices after they've left, embedding your operation into the local community, and giving back to the local community as well. And then going on to question 2. Question 2 is all about your recent improvements. So the question is, tell us about 5 ways that you've developed your business and or improved the customer experience over the last 2 years. And again, the clues here are 5 ways. Please give 5 examples, not just the same example written 5 times. And think about the word limit on that as well. So providing some really well-rounded examples of what you have done. And also only include examples that you've done in the last 2 years. They'll be looking at improvements across the business, but you know, it's very specifically what have you done in the last 2 years. And you look at Secret Garden Glamping as an example, our gold winner this year. Maybe the reason that they were shortlisted last year, but they didn't win anything, is because maybe that business hadn't evolved in that time. You know, it's not always going to be the same businesses that win these awards. They have to be businesses that are doing incredible things within that that kind of time scale. Yes, they do need to be consistently good, but they also need to be innovating. And you can have things that are, you know, only include things that address your answer, but it might be that you've improved by having a new website. You might have improved the skills of the team. You might have expanded, upgraded your facilities. You might have looked at some of those accessibility things and done some things with that. You might have done some stuff around the environmental and social things that we've just talked about. And link that back to why you've done it as well. Why? What's the why? Where's it come from? Why have you decided to do it? Why have you embedded this in your plan? What target have you set out to achieve? And how have you monitored those outputs as well? And again, you can include supplementary evidence in this question. Anything that you link off to, though, make sure that it is really relevant and you're not just putting it there to circumvent the question word count. If you've done something amazing, you're a hotel, for example, and you've come up with this amazing online bedroom browser with loads of information in signposting people to restaurants, but it's behind, you know, it's on a hidden page on your website and the judges won't be able to see it. Make sure you're including a link to it so that the judges can see it and kind of take it into account. And then the third question is all about your results. And these questions are all weighted as well. So then that all gets sorted out at the end about where your weighting has been. So This question is tell us about 3 successes from the last year, providing figures where relevant. So they will be looking at things like percentage increase in occupancy levels, percentage increase in bookings, increase in repeat businesses, growth of social media, all of that kind of stuff. And the significance of the level of impact that it's had on your business. Now, in some of the local only categories, I'm thinking specifically about the events ones and the wedding ones. Some of the questions might be phrased slightly differently so that they are relevant to your category, but they follow the same principles as being around your results and where they've been achieved. And then thinking about the 4th question is about your future plans. How are you going to develop and promote your offering over the next year and why? And that's a 300-word question. And a truly outstanding business never stands still. They're looking for very detailed examples of future plans with a clear rationale, thinking about what you can do better and how you can continue to adapt, what facilities you're going to bring online. They might be about improving skills, operational efficiency, use of digital technology, use of new immersive experiences. I don't know what they are, but you guys do. You're always thinking ahead. You're a very innovative bunch. That's why we got so many national finalists this year, because you guys are so great. So, top tips for this bit: make sure you answer the question. Make sure you tailor your answer. Use facts. Don't use ambiguous or inaccurate claims. Support your answers with evidence. Don't assume that the judges know your business. And don't be lazy. If you are doing more than one application form and you are entering large visitor attraction of the year and best family business, do not use the same answers in both of those, because they need to be relevant to the category that you are entering. The questions are very specific. Read the whole application form first and really think about which bits you can pull out for each of those questions that can really make your business sing. There are word limits there. Some people are more succinct than others. So you can say things in less words. Don't feel the need to just pad out your answer for the sake of it, but do make the best of the use of the word count that's available to you to show how great you are, and put some thought into how you can use that. A really common mistake is to provide the answer you want to give rather than the answer to the question that's being asked. And be honest. Make sure that this is coming from the heart. Sometimes the feedback we get from the judges is that we kind of see that some of the applications, it's very obvious that an external company has filled it in for them, and it doesn't reflect the true passion of the business, because they might know about some of the overarching stuff, but not, the little details that, you need to be bringing out. We advise you to start preparing early. Well done for those of you that are on this call now. And don't overcomplicate your application. Make sure that it really fully reflects your passion. Embrace the review sites. I know it's a scary world sometimes, TripAdvisor and Google reviews. But yeah, give yourself plenty of time to review it. Have a first stab at it, ponder it. We can see what time these all get submitted. We know that they tend to land half an hour before it's due in on the very last day, but try and build some time in for that. So what are your next steps? So well done. You are at the application masterclass today at 3 o'clock. Well done for that. The application deadline is the 12th of July, and we will hopefully be announcing finalists week commencing the 29th of July. For the event categories and for the student category, those are open until the 11th of October to give people in those categories time to have done their events over summer, and for the students, for the educational organisations. to have had time for the summer holidays to take place. Mystery visits will take place from August until October, and our judging interviews take place in November, and then the awards will take place in February 2025. So let's run through the process. So you submit your entry form on open water. The round one judging takes place. So all of our judging is impartial. What round one judging looks like is they are all scored to set criteria by Visit England. Your website is reviewed, your social media is reviewed. All the things that I've covered are all scored to a set criteria. Businesses are then informed whether or not you have been shortlisted to undertake round two judging or not. Round two judging then takes place, which is mystery shops sometimes. Some of the local categories don't have a mystery shop, but it's either a mystery shop or pre-announced day visit. I'll come on to that on the next slide. Then you come before a judging panel, and then you go through into the process for that gets you then go to our awards. You might get put forward from Visit England off the back of that if you are a winner, and feedback gets sent out to every applicant at every step of the way. Each question's got a score, and they're all weighted, so make sure that you give a good answer for every single one, and those are the categories that don't get mystery visited. There's a slide there that says what kind of visit the ones that get a visit will get. An unannounced day visit means that it's a total surprise and it's a customer that will just come in and book. What we will do for those of you that enter those categories that will have a mystery visit attached to them is we will ask you to send us a letter on your letterhead that is signed by your business that our mystery shopper can present at the end of their visit to say that there will be no bill for them to pay. We provide the mystery visits as part of this process. You don't have to, you don't pay for that. We use a company called Insight 6. They provide very, very, very detailed support reports. They are mystery shoppers by trade. They are incredible, and they're a really good insight into your business and how it's operating. And once all the judging and everything is out of the way, then you will get access to that report. If you've got a pre-booked announced day visit, then one of our judges will come and see you, and you will show them around their business, and they will have a chat to you as well. The judging days taking place in November, just be really authentic in those. Talk from the heart. Visual aids are really great. Never assume that the judges know about your business, even if you're a well-known company. It's really important to get the judges get what your business is about. Don't just send a person without slides and visuals of what it's about. They need to feel it. They need to see it. And it needs to be relevant to that category as well. Again, sometimes we get businesses that are in 4 or 5 different categories, and they go and do the same presentation at every single one, or they just talk about their business and not why they're amazing. And send the people from the business who actually do the job, not the external PR person. The judges are all lovely. I know it's always nerve-wracking having to go and do a presentation, but when it's natural, it really flows kind of from the heart. There's a load of useful links here as well. So how to get some business advice from Visit England, how the national awards work, some seminars on accessibility and sustainability, and then a link to how you start your entry at the bottom. If I was doing a session for somebody yesterday about this, and they were asking me in terms of new businesses when the right time to enter would be. Obviously, it's quite tempting when you first open up to enter an award, but I think thinking about Derry and Secret Garden, for example, you need to make sure that you've actually had a chance to learn some lessons and prove that you've got some tenure there as well when they're looking at various presences of things. So just have that in mind if there is a new venture that you are setting up. I think that's everything on the presentation. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and open this up. So hopefully, oh no, it's not doing it. There we go. Let's see, can't see beautiful faces because there's a lot of black boxes in front of me. But I can see the beautiful faces of some of my team, Ian, Maria, who are both here. Did I miss anything, Ian or Maria, that you wanted me to cover?
I think just in terms of new business, so if you are a new business, the Visit England criteria for that category is that you must have been trading by applications open. So you must have been trading by the end of May for a minimum of 3 months and a maximum of 2 years. And what they do say, you can apply for other categories, but what they do say is that they would firmly encourage you, if you are in between that trading period, to apply for new business in the first instance. So just that one little consideration around that, really. I have popped in the chat the links to the accessibility advice and the sustainability advice with Visit Britain, but I know we're going to circulate a copy of the presentation afterwards, so you'll have all of those links. And also, just picking up on Sue asked about where she would apply for a small festival, that would definitely go into the small event category. So you've got a bit longer on the deadlines around that one.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much for coming, everyone. A recording of this will be made available. We will post a link out to it as well. So if you want to listen back to anything that I've said, and I will share the slide deck that we've done too. Good luck. See you later.